Alright guys, we got earnings to talk about. The CEO said some incredible stuff that's mind-blowing. How the partnership with Geely and Chang'an is going to work out. 9 new cars, etc, etc. Very good information. Also, a lot of the information, well, some of the information was lost in translation during the earnings call. But I'll do my very best to summarize as best as I can. So just to run through the numbers, guidance overall 47 to 49K for Q4, 2,613 million, vehicle margin was 11%, gross margin 8%, R&D expenses was 416.5 million, SG&A was 494.7 million, net income negative 624.5 million. The earnings per share was negative 0.37. So he talked about how in 2024 competitiveness will be further unleashed, and this is pretty much going very much in line with NIO's problem, which is that hardware is just next level, the best hardware, but it's bottlenecked by software. So this really hints at in 2024 more of the hardware capabilities will be available. All right, so this is very good. That means the car will continue to sell well in 2024, or at least management thinks so. All right, the improved economies of scale has boosted vehicle margin up to 11%, and then they also touched on NOP Plus routes increasing at a rapid pace, and they talked about infrastructure. But here's the important part: NIO will sign more partners for battery swap asset management, R&D for battery swap cars, standardized batteries, provide more chargeable, swappable, and upgradable experience for others. All right. They will launch a new car on NIO Day, which will become the leading foundation for intelligent EVs and be ahead in terms of tech and just be the best of the best. So the next 2 years, the CEO has said that there will be intense competition in the market, and they have adjusted key objectives and projects to benefit their cash flow situation in the next 2 to 3 years. For example, one of the adjustments that they made was in terms of self-manufacturing battery. Obviously, that would be a very expensive thing to do, and they analyzed that they cannot see margin improvement from this within the next 3 years, and would be a waste of money to manufacture the batteries themselves. So they will continue to do R&D on batteries, but outsource production to other people like CATL. And there's 3 things to work on in their opinion. First of all, and spend money, continue to maintain and produce more advanced product and maintain their advantage, and as a leader, maintain their leaders, continue to expand sales network, because they've seen that in Shanghai in October, they have already surpassed BMW and Mercedes in terms of total sales, which is very big. And there are still areas where sales difference is huge, where that means that BMW and Mercedes still sells a lot more than NIO. So that's obviously in like the 3rd, 4th, 5th tier cities. And he said that in Jiangsu, Zhejiang provinces and Shanghai altogether make up over 50% of total sales, which proves their product recognition, but also shows that their sales are quite weak in other cities. So they are going to expand sales network. And then also they will continue to put money into development of new products. 3 brands, 9 core products will gradually come out and availed to the public in the next few years. 9 new products. That's amazing. Over 3 brands. So that's NIO, Subbrand Alps, Subbrand Firefly. Quite amazing. So in terms of operating cash flow, they talked about how there's going to be a 200 million RMB in severance payment that will impact Q4 numbers. And they talked about more about the sub-brand, which is pretty nice. So a person asked if the sub-brand will share the same sales network and swapping network, etc. And this is where the juicy information comes in. they say that the sales channel will be separate from the NIO brand, but they will share some service network. And they have already finished early testing with the verification build of the Subbrand car, and they are very confident in its competitiveness, but there's still time to refine it further. And when asked about the partnerships with Chang'an, Geely, all these, this is the very big information that we all want to know. How will this partnership work out? So NIO will have its own network dedicated just for NIO vehicles. So only NIOs can swap at NIO's network, but also have a shared network where NIOs and Alps Subbrand and third-party Chang'an, Geely cars and other potential partnerships, Mercedes, Porsche, etc. down the line, they can also swap at those swap stations. So there will be a private network and a public network, essentially. And NIOs can swap at both private and public swap stations, if that makes sense. So they talked about how this is sort of like cloud computing and cloud services, how there's a network effect, and it takes 5 years of validation, and they really did validate swapping internally by themselves with NIO only, and then now it's time to open up the network to the industry. And it will be a huge winner for mass market brand, because mass market consumers may not have the capability of installing a home charger, because most of them live in apartments. Now, of course, someone asked them about the capex expenditure when we were doing this kind of deal with Chang'an, Geely, and these guys. So NIO CEO said there will, of course, be more capex for the private network for NIO only, but when it comes to partners like Chang'an, Geely, they will actually spend the money to buy the swap station, to build it, essentially buy it from NIO, and NIO will operate it because NIO has the whole entire cloud computing thing all done. And essentially, those guys, they own that swap station, but NIO will operate it. So NIO's getting paid that way, all right? Paid to operate the swap station, and also paid for the patents, paid to build the swap station. But those companies, the other companies will own it, not NIO, okay? So this is a very nice partnership in my opinion. And he said that there's already 10 swap stations doing this already. So what that means is there's already about 10 swap stations where NIO doesn't own the swap station. So this is like, for example, you and me, if we pooled our money and bought a swap station, and it's a NIO swap station, of course, we're not going to be able to operate it. We own the swap station, but NIO operates it, and we just basically earn money from it, all right? Yeah. So there's already around 10 of these swap stations around. So this is pretty incredible. So 10 people, or maybe more than 10 people, have already put their money and bought the swap stations. These are most likely also NIO owners. Okay, for certain swap stations, some are already profitable, and this is pretty interesting. Charging business is already profitable. Okay, and when it comes to the factory question, this is a very important one. Acquire the factory from JAC, spend that money, and very good news is the manufacturing cost will decrease by 10%. And this is what the CEO said. Very good. That's going to really boost their margins up there. Okay. And he just talked a bit more about how partners have really seen and validated the benefits of battery swap. Everybody likes them. And they're in talks with many other people. So this is very nice. And then they talked about new products for NIO coming in 2024. Someone asked if there's going to be a facelift, a 800-volt charging version for their existing 2.0 vehicles, and battery swap station guidance. But of course, he said they will have minor facelifts, but nothing major. But me personally telling you, 8295 is coming. They can't say this, or else it might hurt sales, obviously. And also, he just straight up ignored the 800-volt question, because that's definitely not coming, at least so far, for NT 2.0 products. Okay, so yeah. All right. Next, they talked about sales potential. Right now, they have over 5,000 sales staff. Most of them are new, apparently, according to the CEO. Over 3,000 of them. And according to the CEO, they need more time to get to sales capacity. So they've seen that staff with over 6 months have good sales capacity, and he basically said, told us to be patient, told shareholders to be patient. Of course, this is an excuse. There's always an excuse, all right? So investment in R&D will see slight fluctuations over several quarters. It will not say decrease, but go up and down from quarter to quarter. And when talking about Europe sales, he said that Europe is still at an early stage, so it's more important to get started correctly at infrastructure first. Those are the priorities. Volume of sales isn't as much of a priority at the moment, okay? And then when he got questioned about the 20K target, and they're running a bit lower than that, the CEO just had more, I guess, to talk about market share and how, right now the whole entire segment is shifting toward pure EVs, and infrastructure is also very important in boosting sales volume. So kind of getting a bit sidetracked from the origin of the question, but obviously, sales, if they have good promotion, they're going to get more sales. Okay, so the big news is, of course, with these Subbrand, and if you guys watched all the way over here, this is the big news with the Subbrand, and also with the partnerships with Geely and Chang'an and etc. All these people, they will have a standardized battery pack that NIO has designed and made, and they basically gave this battery pack to them, and they can build their car around this battery pack, however they want to build their car, and that will allow them to be able to swap. And this battery pack is the same battery pack that Alps brand will have. So that's where the whole entire public network comes in. So he said that there still needs to be some time before people adopt them, but the cost for developing cars around this battery pack will not be too high for those people, for those companies. So this is all very good information. Let me know what you guys think about the earnings. Also download the NIO app and use my invite code LEGPC7. As always, stay safe, stay healthy. Peace out.